pleasure to bring to the stage John and Nadya Melton.
So we really want to get into 5 lessons to help you in your marriage, but also this can help you in your business, right? It's really 5 lessons that we think can go hand in hand with raising a family. How many of us have kids? How many of us are building a team? How many of us have a significant other and they don't listen to you? So we need to work on your influence. Would you agree with that? Sometimes we want to blame the team for not working harder, or blame our kids for not listening, or blame our spouse for not taking out the trash or doing a video with you. How many of you ever try to get your spouse to do it? Right? We need to work on our influence, right? And I think it all starts with leadership. And, we've been in this profession, like I said, for 17 years. We've been able to really create a lot of success over the last 4 or 5 years, specifically online. We've been full-time since 2008, so 11 years now. We built offline for many, 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 many years. I think we squeezed like 40 years of meetings and home parties into like 5. So that was a crazy 5 years. But, we took to the internet. We started building online businesses. In fact, that's how Bob and I, got back into contact, because he wanted to start going down this path of building a personal brand, doing videos. And he talked about how long it took him to finally do a video. And once he did, I swear, his first video went viral. It was crazy, because he's just one of those people that's just very good at what he does, right? He delivers a powerful message, but guess what? Each and every one of you has a message to share, right? And in the beginning, you might struggle a little bit with some of what we're going to talk about today, right? These lessons and just getting really familiarized with being a leader. Because would you agree, the key to success in network marketing is to not only become a leader, but to create more leaders, right? Yeah. It's not about creating followers, it's duplication throughout your organization. So it takes us to step up and become that leader. Sometimes we want to be a leader prematurely, right? Like if you look at us, back when we first got started in the profession, we probably didn't look like leaders then, right? We were 20 years old. And for us, we, had no background in business. And it was literally that first company, those first couple years were life-changing for us. And then at a very young age, at 23, we had our son Dylan, who's now 14, which I still can't believe. And he'll be turning 15 in August. It's crazy. How many of you have teenagers? Oh. So you know about that life, right? Our daughter's 10, double digits now, Christina. And it's kind of cool because, obviously with us being able to build a business online, and some of, again, what we're going to talk about, we've been able to have the freedom and flexibility to raise our children, put our kids to bed, and that was really, honestly, why we wanted to figure out how to work from home, because we were realizing that our kids grow up quickly, do they not? Time flies. And if you can't figure out a way to create that leadership within your organization, a lot of what Bob talks about, a lot of what we're going to talk about, then you're not going to have the freedom, right? You're not going to create that lifestyle where you can be a present parent or a present spouse or do the other things you want to do. So, last month, just to give you some results, our team produced over 15,377 new customers in 30 days. We did over 3.75 million in sales, and 80% of our volume comes from real customers and using social media, building online. How many of us are building our business online in here? I would assume just about all of you, right? A few years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't like that, right? I remember we were getting made fun of in 2008. We were wasting time on social media, right? Our first recruit, by the way, came from MySpace in 2006. So let's get into some of this training, because we really want to help you live the dream. We want to help you create a life of abundance. We want to help you up your leadership, because understand, you're going to go through ups and downs, right? Yeah. Would you agree, for those of us that are married, right, you go through some tough times. I was watching this interview the other day, and the lady talked about, in relationships, it's a lot like seasons, right? Like in the summer, it's really hot and heavy, right? You're maybe in the springtime, right? You're just warming up. Summer's hot and heavy, but then there's also going to be a fall and a winter, right? Same thing in our business. You're going to go through seasons. So true leadership, I love this quote, is the ability to communicate with and effectively reach each and every person you work with in the way that works best for each of them. Yeah. And again, this holds true in relationships, in parenting, in business. And here's lesson number 1 that we've come to realize.
No, you got to ditch Compare-itis, Perfection-itis, and Excuse-itis. You guys, can we please meditate our brain on this? So I heard Joel Osteen. How many of you love Joel Osteen, right? Joel Osteen, and he talked about how your spouse, your partner, they have 80% of what you need, and they have 20% of what you maybe don't need, or those little annoyances. How many of you guys know when you're like in that dating stage and everything is like on the up and up, and then you get married and you go, baby, what is going on with you? Pick up your sock. Why is it only one sock on the floor? Explain yourself immediately. Document your lack of spirit of excellence. But you know what happens is, we then all of a sudden, or with parenting, we start to sort of a little bit navigate towards negative land, and that for sure is a formula for disaster, right? So we focus on the 80% in the relationship, and then there's people, you guys, that do not have this wisdom, and then they go, you know what? I don't have what I need in my relationship, right? So they go try to find somebody else, and they look for the 20% that they didn't have in the previous relationship, and then guess what they find out? We have to brainwash our spouse all the time. And here's how we do it. You go, baby, you're so amazing. Oh my gosh, you are a genius. And in the relationship, right, a guy is the head and the girl is the neck. So whichever way the neck goes is where the head goes. You guys, that is so beautiful. I don't even know what to say other than, oh my gosh, let us all do it all the time.
Yes, dear.
Yes. So we brainwash, right? But we also recognize the fact that, they're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. How many of you unfortunately figured that out? But then we also know that God does not make junk. How many of us can we hear an amen on this beautiful Friday, right? So, and then when you hear the lucid thoughts in your head, I want you to write this down. The negative thoughts that are in your head, they're not you and they're not true. And what we really need to do, you guys, we really got to get this gratitude piece really dialed in.
Gratitude is sexy. Would you guys agree that, she touched on this, right? Like the person you're with, the team you have, your children, nobody's perfect, including you.
Right.
Yes? Right? And sometimes we are our own worst critic, right? We beat ourselves up, or, we beat up our not physically, hopefully, we beat up our spouse, right? Like we tear people down around us because you're focused on what? What they don't have, right? You're focused on the lack. You're focused on, what your team isn't doing. But hello, at least you have a team, right? Would you agree there's some people in network marketing that are struggling even to get that first person? They have no team, right? So you're complaining about the team you have or the lack of what they do, but be grateful for the team you have, because the truth is every dud knows a stud, right? And sometimes duds become studs, right? How many of us started out as a dud in network marketing? I started out as a dud, right? I was 20 years old. I was a punk. I had earrings, tongue ring. No, I didn't have any dress clothes. I knew nothing about business. I didn't know what MLM, network marketing. I couldn't spell entrepreneur. I still have a tough time with that one, actually. Thank God for spell check. But, the truth is, most people getting started are not going to be super motivated, all in, getting on every call, working the business, right? And it's the same thing in relationships. It's the same thing in anything. Like, be grateful for what you have.
Right.
Because you can't expect more if you can't take care of what you've already created, right? And I think it's really important for us to be public with that. Go love on 5 people's walls today. People in your life, people in your team, right? I actually have a reminder in my phone to give public recognition every Friday. I like Fridays because people are in a good mood, and I feel like Fridays are not quite as busy as the rest of the week. So I have a reminder in my phone on Friday to go love on people's walls, people in my organization, people in my life. How many of us could do this, right? Find 5 people today that you can go love on their wall. Make it public, or post on your own wall, right? And give some acknowledgement. Post something about who or whom, these people that you have in your life that you're grateful for, because gratitude is sexy.
Number 2 is you got to embrace the suck. Isn't that such a sexy sentence? Based on my face, maybe not. Okay, baby, talk about it.
So there's going to be challenges. You cannot avoid challenges. You can't avoid adversity. And we kind of talked about this in the beginning, like all of those struggles make you stronger, right? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. We've all heard that cliche, but it's so true. There are going to be tough times. Just realize that that's very normal. Like the trials and tribulations you go through, it's not like some rare, crazy thing that's like never occurred to anyone, right? The frustration is going to be there, but it's all about your perspective, right? Like for instance, our son, so he plays travel baseball. How many of us have kids in sports? My son pitched a lot his 10-year season. Like when he was 10 years old, right? That season he threw way too many pitches, pitched too much. We didn't know. I mean, he just was pitching all the time because he was good, right? So we didn't realize how that was really putting a lot of strain on his arm. So the beginning of the 11U season, he pitched in the very first game, and his arm was sore for the first time ever, and then he blew out his arm. So he couldn't play. The doctor said he's got to, take off the whole season. He can't throw the ball. And, it was sad, right? We embraced the fact that this sucks, right? And we had two choices. One, let him sit out the whole season and basically not play, or B, learn to throw with his right arm. And at the time, it seemed like that might be really challenging, but we just worked really hard on having him throw right-handed. And within a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, he was actually starting. I think he played mostly second base and outfield as a right-hander. He didn't pitch as a righty, but for those of you that know sports, it's very hard to throw with your opposite arm. Try writing with your opposite arm. That's about how hard it is. And for him, he got really good at it, actually, and now he can play with both arms. So like on his middle school team, he's a lefty pitcher, and then he's the starting shortstop as a right-hander. So at the time, that sucked. 3 years later, it's actually become a huge advantage for him. And it's funny because we'll go play dodgeball, and he's the only kid on the team that the coach allows to play dodgeball during the baseball season because he throws a dodgeball with his right arm. So even if he were to hurt it, it doesn't matter because he doesn't throw on his travel team with his right arm. So isn't it interesting how some of the worst experiences can actually be our best experiences? So just know that in business, in life, in our marriage, right, parenting children, there's going to be tough times. And a lot of you are probably well aware of this. If your kids are a little bit older, like there's going to be some things they grow through. Right? There's going to be some things that you grow through. So just embrace the fact that this is normal and look at it as a plot twist. Look at it as something that's like meant to happen for you to get better, right? Because people want to lead a big organization. They want to have all this success in network marketing. And the truth is, you're not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize all the craziness that we went through over the 17 years made us who we are today. At the time, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this person quit, or this company went out of business, or this epic failure of a decision. But all of that stuff made us who we are today.
You guys, how many of us have had those situations? And sure, as girls, we go, oh, should I put my red lipstick on? Should I put high heels on? Because you know what they say, high heels, high hopes. See what I mean? So write that down as a practical tip. Whenever there's a curveball or a plot twist in your business, in your marriage, in your life, we have to sort of switch our energy, right? And we need to rise up. And I do believe maybe build yourself a stage.
You got to have humility during your momentum. I love this. Your ego is not your amigo.
Oh.
So when things are going really well, you have to remain humble. Do your best to remember where you came from. Because I know what it's like to struggle. I remember it. It was not that long ago. I mean, in years, it was a while back since I really struggled financially, but I don't feel like it was that long ago. Like I try to remember what it's like because I think it keeps me hungry. I also, feel the same way with relationships, right? Like constantly loving on our children, like I want to, kind of take the always be selling mindset, not just like, when you're trying to sell someone on your product or opportunity, or you're sharing, however you want to look at it. But I look at that with my team. Like I want to keep selling them on working the business, staying forever. Like I don't go, they're one of my top leaders. They're not going anywhere. And I just start treating them like crap. Would you agree? Nobody wants to be treated like crap. Nobody, right? Spouse, kids, business partners. Nobody wants to feel like you've got them. Like, I've already got them. That's already my spouse. I don't need to treat them a certain kind of way. Right? I mean, we can all appreciate this, right? We all want to be recognized. We all want to be loved on. So give love, law of reciprocity, right? So have confidence during setbacks, right? Kind of already touched on that. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. So many of us allow our outside circumstances, what's going on in our life, what's going on in our business, to dictate our energy level, our enthusiasm, our perspective on things. And, a lot of the leaders in network marketing, a lot of the biggest success stories, they're just great people to be around. How many sort of agree? Like if you're around Bob Heilig or you're around some of these incredible leaders that you're going to hear from this weekend, right? Like you just want to be in their presence. So be that type of person. Be the type of person that always has a smile. Everybody look at your neighbor and smile.
Do it.
Right? Even if you got a busted grill, just got,
Oh, baby.
right? Missing tooth, it doesn't matter. One of my top leaders, she always points out that she's got her Mississippi missing tooth. She shows it on video. People love her for it. Why? Authenticity, right? She has fun. She's always smiling. Bring that to your social media. Bring that to the people that are in the room with you. Sometimes I think a lot of it, when we struggle with relationships, when we struggle in marriage, when we struggle with whatever we're dealing with another human being, a lot of it is we're allowing what our perspective is of that person to dictate how we are with that person. You got to give 100%. Doesn't matter what percentage they're giving you. Now, of course, if it's a person that isn't in your life or you don't need them in your life, that's a different situation, right? I avoid negative Nancys like the plague. If I get a bad apple that's on my social media or on my videos or on my posts, whatever, I just block them. I don't think twice. My block party list is very long. I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. If they're in my business, in my life, it's different. Random people, bye, Felicia. Anyway, let's go on to lesson number 3. Don't speak death. How many of us sometimes are guilty of this? My children are crazy. I'm broke. My team's dead. My spouse, whatever, right? Like all this stuff. I don't even like saying it on stage as an example. I hate BROKE. Ugh, I hate that word, right? Like when people tell me their team is DEAD, I mean, it's, don't say that out loud.
No.
I mean, how is it really true? I don't, you could always get someone re-engaged, could you not?
Yeah. Could
something happen like the person, how many's ever had someone on your team that seemed like they were done and out of nowhere they're like, hey, I've got somebody, right? That's going to be like 80% of your team. That's going to be a significant amount of your team, meaning they don't have like a strong desire level, right? They don't have like this level of, I'm all in. I'll be on every Saturday call. I'll be at every major event. I'm going to work my business 8 days a week. That's not going to be most people, right? That's just not the case, right? Like I said, 80% of our business comes from customers, right? So I know that the majority of people inside of this profession are going to be customers or like part-time, spare time, sometime when I feel like it time people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just understand that it's very normal for people to maybe not meet your expectations or meet the potential in the beginning. Because I'll tell you, I started off as just like, I just want to make my money back. I just want to make like a check with a comma. Right? And then you make one, you're like, oh, maybe I can make full-time income one day, right? And then you make a full-time income and, things evolve over time. But, I really want you to be careful with the things you put out into the universe. Don't talk about what you're not good at or don't talk about what you don't want, right? How many of us ever seen like The Secret or are familiar with law of attraction, right? What you speak about, you bring about.
Yeah.
You can't control the first thought, but you can control that second thought, all right? So just be very careful at what you're saying out loud, especially about the people you care about most. Right? And those are the people that it's easiest to let our hair down. We figured that out a long time ago with our kids, right? We got teachers telling us how amazing our kids are, and they're getting great grades and all this stuff, and then they come home and they're like a Tasmanian devil. How many know what I'm talking about?
Oh, baby, you're speaking
death.
death.
Speaking death. But this was in the past, right? But they come home and and I don't remember who said it to us, but they're like, you know what? Your kids are a little cray-cray when they get home, but they were good all day. They're going to let their hair down at home because that's where they're most comfortable, and they've been like holding it in. So at least they're not crazy at school. I'm like, oh, that's a great point. So now we let them be crazy at home. Anyway, lesson 4.
How hilarious is this picture, please? Can we laugh about it? Look at this. So let me introduce you to my baby number 3, and I swear, I feel bad saying it, but I think I love him the most. And you guys, when you get a dog, do you have to train him? Yes or yes? I almost died through that process because, white carpet, diarrhea,
Impatience.
Impatience. No, I'm very patient, baby. You're speaking death. You did not. You forgot. Law number 3. Law number 3. And you know what's hilarious about this photo, you guys? Sometimes the people around you, you think you're training them, but they're really training you. Clearly from this photo, Toby was training Christina. What can we say about the cost of tea in China? I don't know, but now he pees and poops outside. Can we just say an amen to that? You guys, little things that make a big difference, I swear.
It's true.
All right, baby.
She was trying to lead by example.
I think so.
Trying to show him how it's done, and So I think it's important though, like a puppy, like a child, you recognize what you want repeated. right? So you give them treats, right? You give the dog treats, right? You want to recognize what you want repeated in your business. How many sort of agree? That makes a lot of sense, right? Like your top people. So we have a thing we do every month for the people that are the most engaged in our team Facebook group. We have over 10,000 people in our team Facebook group. So every month when we do our recognition for like our top producers, we also send out, just small gifts, nothing too crazy expensive like books and different things, Amazon gift cards, whatever, to our top most engaged people in our team Facebook group. Why? Because we recognize what we want repeated. And sometimes it's important just to recognize the activity, right? Like, hey, anybody that talks to 10 people will be entered into a raffle for whatever, right? Like there's so many little things you can do, and we just believe so much in recognition. We believe so much in really acknowledging people that are doing the work, not just your top producers though, right? Of course you want to recognize top production also, right? But would you agree, most of your people are not going to compete at that high level. Most people, like if you run a contest that only rewards the top people, they're not going to compete for it because they don't see it being possible. But if it's something where you could recognize the top people and recognize people that are just doing the activity, doing some basic stuff. Maybe they're doing their first video, right? Maybe they're out there doing a curiosity post. A lot of what you're going to learn this weekend, a lot of the stuff you learn inside of Bob's Legacy Leadership, like a lot of that stuff, you can have your team participate in it and give them the acknowledgement and give them shout outs, run contests, different things. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Honestly, a lot of the recognition, it's not about them winning some amazing prize. It's just about them getting acknowledged amongst their peers, their business partners, on social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to really start making note, just like I kind of talked about before, going and loving on people's walls. Do the same thing within your team, like having little challenges, little contests, little ways that you can acknowledge people that are participating. How many have team chats? Do you have team Facebook chats, right? Same thing. How about, someone asks a question and there's those people that are always quick to answer those questions, right? I love those people because they're not worried about, oh, well, that person's not in my downline. I'm not going to help that person. I don't make money helping them. Wouldn't you agree that's a terrible mentality? I think one of the reasons we've had the culture we've had within our organization is because we've really acknowledged that and made that a big deal where we have, if someone's got a great tip or a great story or something that's working for them, we have them go live in our team Facebook group or do a post, right? Because the thing is, it's sometimes you get into a situation where it's like the same people saying the same things and the same people getting acknowledged. And it's just so powerful when you got someone that's like 2 weeks in, a month in, someone that's just getting started. Or maybe they've been in longer. How about those stories? Maybe they've been in a long time and they finally rank advanced. They finally started to see success after a year or two. Would you agree? Those are some of the better stories, right? Because isn't it sometimes discouraging when it's only the top people, or it's discouraging when somebody, how many of us have ever been in a situation where someone joins a company after you did and flies right past you? Aren't you kind of like, oh, good for her.
Good for her.
That's awesome. No, I'm super proud of you. How many know what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes it's good to acknowledge those people that aren't seeing the fast success as much as the ones that are. So we did this in our team Facebook group. I said, shout out Saturday, give a shout out to anybody you want to acknowledge, upline, downline, sideline, it doesn't matter. Just give a shout out to somebody that's doing a great job.
Guys, write this down. This is genius.
And it was like,
because it went viral.
It was literally like 700 comments in like 2 days. And it wasn't like just people tagging people. It's like people going into detail about all. I mean, it was amazing, man. I don't really become emotional like ever and stuff like that. And that was like, I got choked up. I'm like, dude, this is awesome, because it was like reading through it was just like there was so much goodness and everybody was just loving on everybody. So shout out Saturday is powerful and something that I thought was really great.
I love it. And you know what's beautiful too is you're teaching your team to speak that. Lesson number 5, you guys, is never, I love this spin, right? Let us become a DJ, not the original songwriter, because that is like stressful for sure, but be a DJ. So never stop glowing, keep loving and selling. And you guys, I believe this, that every morning when you rise up, you have to start with selling yourself on your genius. Like, how many of us, we could really do a better job at starting our day by loving ourselves first? Because if you don't take that diligent time to edify yourself and sell yourself and tap into meditation or personal development or exercise, you get the butt cheeks going. Remember, momentum starts from the bottom up. You ignite your brain, you ignite your energy instead of crushing into your daily tasks. How many of us have experienced that before, right? So you can either start high heels, high hopes, you know what I mean? Or you crash into it and it's like, what just happened? You know, be shocked.
Every morning, though, I wake up selling Nadya on giving me some love.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great
Who
way.
talks like this?
It's a great way to start every day.
You guys, I don't know what's
Sometimes
going
I
on.
get the sale and sometimes I do not, but
my God.
I will never stop glowing.
I'm sweating.
Being grateful, right? And look, some of you are not morning people, right? Or maybe you wake up in the morning fired up like I do. Like, you know, there's all these miracle morning philosophies, and I think it's great. For me, I wake up and I work because I'm fired up and I cannot wait. It's probably when I'm the most energetic, right? I also get 8 hours of sleep every night. I hear some people 4, 5, 6. You know, maybe you do need to wake up slowly and read books and do tons of personal development. Do you, whatever works for you. For me, I like toning things down at night. So I'll think about what I'm grateful for at night. I'm on my knees praying at night. Like, I do a lot of that type of stuff at night. So do it whenever it works for you.
Okay.
Never beat yourself up because you're not a morning person. I used to do this. I'm like, there must be something wrong with me. I just can't wake up in the morning. I can't wake up early. I can't, right? And then I was just like, screw it, I'll just stay up late and make money. Is everyone okay with that? Right? I think Gary Vee was the first one I ever heard talk about this, and he went on a tangent about it. Like, it doesn't matter when you make your money. And I'm like, that's right. I don't wake up and get the worm. I eat it at night, right? Like, whatever that little analogy is. You know what I'm talking about. But you got to take time to love on yourself. You got to take time to work on yourself. You got to take time for you. You have to understand that there's a lot of value in you taking care of you.
Yeah.
So that you can be the person you need to be for your team, for your spouse, for your kids, for the people in your life. And sometimes we say, oh, you know, I gotta worry about everybody else. I gotta, you know, cook food for everybody else, or I gotta do the dishes, or I gotta do these things for my team. Sometimes, man, like, you just gotta shut your phone off. Put the phone away, right? Be present with your family, be present with your spouse, be present with yourself, right? Because the truth is, we don't know what we're going to go out there and accomplish. We don't really know what the future holds for our business, for our life. Like, you don't know what tomorrow holds, but you've got right now, right? And that's why I was saying, like, be present this weekend, right? You invested money to be here. You're investing time to be here. How many people do you think heard about this event that didn't come, or didn't buy the live stream ticket, or made excuses, like we talked about in lesson 1, right? Like, they didn't see the value in investing in themselves. And then it's the same people that want change, but they're not willing to. Right? Oh, I want, you know, how many just want the dream car, the dream home? We want to be debt free. We want to give money to our favorite charities. We want to travel the world. We want to put our kids to bed. Like, you know, we want to have all these things. And then you're like, oh, you need to read the books. You need to go to the seminar. You need to work on yourself. You need to do all these things, right? And they're like, oh, I don't want to do any of that. That sounds hard, right? I don't want to learn stuff, right? They want the result, but it's like people want to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die, right? So we have to realize that the best investment we can make is in ourselves. Doesn't matter if you're from Yale or jail. Doesn't matter if you're 18 or 88. Anybody can achieve success in this profession. Trust me. If you knew me 17 years ago, you'd have so much hope. So much hope. I was a hot mess, but the one thing for me is I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing because everybody else I knew was broke.
Right.
Now, I was broke too, but I'm like, why would I listen to all the broke people that don't like the job they're in, that aren't fulfilled? And I couldn't explain it, but I was just like, it just doesn't seem like those are the things they even enjoy doing. Why would I be so motivated to do those things? So thank God for network marketing. How many of us just thank God for being here, right? Like, seriously. So.
Yes. No, I love it. And you know, it's interesting because sometimes the people that want to critique you on what it is that they're doing or what you're doing, they've never really done anything themselves that's like big, right? But they have thoughts. And I gotta tell you, selective hearing is gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. I remember when I called my dad, and I swear, you guys, my parents were so very proud of me because they sent me to America. I came here by myself. I went to college. I graduated at 19. And when I called them and I said, hey, you guys, great news. You will not believe, are you sitting down? This is amazing. I got started in network marketing. And they were proud of me until that moment. And then my dad unleashed his negative thoughts in Russian, you know. And how many of you guys have ever been around a Russian? Like when they speak, I remember when John and I first started dating, he's like, baby, why are you yelling at everybody all the time? I'm like, this is how we talk, okay? It's how we do it. Anyways, and so my dad had these thoughts, and then I hung up the phone, and you know what I thought to myself? He is halfway across the world, and those are his ideas, and that is fabulous, and I will let it go. And now, like 10 years later, we moved them here. They now live with us. We support them. And you better believe my dad is really excited about the things I didn't obey back in the day, right? You gotta just sometimes really listen to your gut. How many of us ladies, like, and you know, you guys, not to say there's some cool guys in this room, but I believe us ladies, our inner voice, we gotta really obey more. For ladies, how many of us know, like, your gut is always on point. And we just have to trust it, like, always, right? Listen to it. But here's what I will also say, is you want to upgrade everybody around you and get them excited about the vision.
Yeah.
So like with our kids, since they were little, we like brainwash them too, like, hey guys, it's a family business. Let's set a goal together. Like if mommy and daddy work really, really hard, because right now we have to hustle, you know, then what do you want to do? And we train them early on, like, hey, let's do your gratitude. And I love this picture. Did you see this baby Reed with Christina wrote? She was grateful for YouTube. YouTube. I found it so funny. YouTube. It's hilarious, right? I have to say, you gotta laugh, and you gotta laugh a lot. That's how you stay young. That's how you avoid wrinkles. Wrinkles is a swear word. You cancel the dream looking like a nightmare, you guys. And somebody is always watching. Do you love that picture, you guys? Let us just say it out loud. It's so fun.
I have to tell you guys, like, you don't understand.
Oh.
Just a year and a half, 2 years ago, up until the time, from the time I knew Nadya up until 2 years ago, she was anti-dog, anti-pets, we got like a hamster, gerbil, whatever, guinea pig, whatever. That didn't last long.
We donated it.
To another family.
Yes, he is fine. It's fine.
So, and then we get a dog, and she's like, that dog ain't never gonna sleep in our bed.
No, I used to be like, you know, those people that sleep with their dogs, they have no self-control.
Now he's on the middle pillow.
I used to be like that,
every
negative.
Night.
And now I'm like, Toby, calm, baby. John, scooch over. What are you taking all this space for? Move away.
Yeah. I get woken up in the middle of the night. Baby, you kicked the dog. I'm like, no, that was you.
No, you did one time kick him. I heard it. Seriously, I am obsessed. Have you ever been this obsessed? It's crazy, you guys.
You know, bottom line, allow people to make mistakes.
Yes.
It's okay for you to make mistakes. It's okay for your spouse, your family members. Like, it's gonna happen, right? Like, it's just a matter of how do you learn from those mistakes, right? Sometimes you learn, sometimes you earn. And we have to realize that for most of us in the beginning, we're going to do a lot of the learning, right? Hopefully you can earn while you learn. Hopefully that happens for you. But the truth is, you know, we're working on ourselves, and you want to stick to your commitments. You want to make this thing happen. Why? Because the people that you know are watching you. The people that were super negative, super skeptical when we first got started, guess what? They're now all of our biggest fans, right? A lot of those people. And the ones that aren't, we just don't talk to them anymore, right? But a lot of them are proud of us. They're blown away by what we've created. And we don't have to say it, but you know they're thinking. Right? You know they're thinking like, wow, I mean, you know, they were right? But we thought about getting the license plate, told you so, but you know, it's rubbing it in. So, but just understand that it's people are going to be watching. It's just a matter of time, right? They're like Santa, they're always watching. Mm-hmm. Don't allow these friends, these family members, these individuals that are in your life to slow you down, because this is your dream. This is your goal. This is your business, right? And unless they pay your bills, who cares?
Yeah, I love it. And when God gives you a calling, don't send him to voicemail.